Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I hope that you guys have had an amazing start to the week. And today we are going to have a really awesome discussion. And we're going to be talking about something that we hear all the time from virtual assistants or freelancers or people aspiring to start their own service-based business is, do I have enough skills? And should I wait until I have more skills to launch my business? What do I do as far as learning new skills that I know are going to be necessary for my business before I start, or kind of while I'm going? And we're going to really dive deep into it. I have a special guest today who I'm going to bring on here in a second, Miss Tiffany Williams. She's on our team. She's our operations specialist, also has advanced degrees in psychology and like library science, and she's just kind of a genius. You're going to love her. And it's going to be just a really fun, awesome discussion. I do want to also point out that, if you guys are here, maybe you are new to joining these live streams, we go live every single Tuesday. So sometimes it's me, sometimes it's from someone from my team. We'll do interviews, we'll bring on students, successful virtual assistants, and we basically just come on here every Tuesday and deep dive into a particular topic. Every once in a while we'll do like Q&As. We'll have a Q&A at the end of this session. And it's really just a time for you guys to pick our brains and to really dive into what is going on in your world. What are the questions that you are having? What are the problems that you're facing? So we can in real time go through them. So we go live every single Tuesday at noon Central Time. And it actually simulcasts to our Facebook page, our Facebook group, and to YouTube. So you can catch us on any of those platforms every single Tuesday at noon. So before we jump in, let me know who's here, who's joining me, and where are you joining me from? And is it beautiful weather where you are at? Because it is finally springtime here. I'm so excited, you guys. This past weekend, my kids literally played outside for like 10 straight hours and it was amazing. I love springtime. It is one of my favorite times of the year. So, so excited that you guys are all here joining me today. And here's what we're going to do. We're just going to jump right in because we like to get right to the meat of it, but go ahead and let me know in the comments where you are joining me from. Okay. All right, so we are going to bring on Miss Tiffany Williams. Tiffany, hey.
Hello.
How are you? I'm so good. Is it gorgeous where you are?
It is. The sun is out and it's like upper 60s today. So it is a beautiful day out.
Yeah, 60s, 70s, like it's like my ideal weather. Like sunny with a high of 75. That is like my life. I'm like, yes, please, all the time. Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, about your virtual assistant journey, your TVS journey. Let us get a little bit of a background of who you are before we, dive into things.
So I am the operations specialist, as Abby mentioned, here at the Virtual Savvy. I'm coming in from education. So I've had a background working in the library at the college level, but also at the K through 12 level. And I knew that I wanted to do something remote, and I learned about virtual assistants, and the rest is history. I came across Abbey one day back in like 2015, and that's where my virtual assistant journey started. And then here we are like 6 years later, and I'm a part of the Virtual Savvy team. So it's been a long journey to get to the virtual world, and all these virtual assistants brought me to Abbey. So
that's so awesome. Now, Tiffany, you are like, and it's okay to brag on yourself a little bit. You're like a lifelong learner, aren't you? It just kind of seems like Tiffany, she's being all humble, but you've got like 2 master's degrees, right? And in library science of, one of them. So you're definitely like lifelong learning and being a learner. That is, you're big on that, right?
yes, absolutely. I've gone to school. I did all the things that everybody said you should do, and went back to get started in the library field. And so I do have the education, but it wasn't speaking to, my interests and everything. So I, went and learned more skills to be a virtual assistant. And here I am with that. So, and I mean, that's what the virtual savvy is about, the learning, the education. And so it all kind of came together.
Yeah. I don't know. We have people from, all different educational backgrounds, which I think is amazing. People who, did this right after coming out of high school, people who went to college, people who got advanced degrees. But I think it's so incredible. So for no matter what your educational background is, like, let me know in the comments if you guys agree. There's such a difference between learning something, at least for me, like for school versus when it's self-initiated learning, right? Like I always did good in school. Like I did well, but I was always like, what's the minimum I can do and still get an A? That was kind of my like MO. Like, all right, let me type this paper the night before and it'll be fine. Where it's like, man, now if there's a topic that I'm learning, and maybe you guys are, especially if you're like new to this online freelancing world, maybe you guys are feeling this way too, where it's like, oh my gosh, I can't get enough. Like I'm like consumed with like, oh, I have to read every blog post and listen to every podcast and all of it. And it's just, learning can be so much fun. So I'm excited to dive into this topic today.
It can. It's totally different when it's something that you're interested in and something that you self-initiate, because it makes you want to consume all of the information. And there's so much good information right here. So
the internet is a wonderful thing.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So I have a couple questions for you, and then we'll just dive into a Q&A time, because I really want to, just with your experience and your background, I want to kind of hear from you. What are maybe some big goals that you've gone after? And this is, I feel like, probably a lot of our audience, maybe they're starting a new business, or they are thinking of adding a new service or raising their prices, whatever. Is there kind of a similar experience that you've had that maybe you didn't feel qualified, that you didn't have the education and the experience to do? And kind of what was that journey like for you?
Starting a virtual assistant business, imposter syndrome is so real. Like, I mean, there's a lot of goals that I had. I want to work for myself, and I want to be able to do things that I'm interested in. So that's one goal that I didn't feel qualified for. But I mean, here I am. I started my journey in 2017, and I still work with like the clients that I started with. And I mean, imposter syndrome is real. At first, I was just like, nobody's gonna like pay me to do things that I already feel I can do, especially if I don't know all the things. But I mean, anybody will pay you to do things that they don't want to do that you do know how to do. And I mean, even coming to the Virtual Savvy team, I'm coming in from education, so I haven't done this, as a career, but you go after your dreams and you can do anything. So
yeah. in your, and it's okay if the answer is no, but did you ever have a time where you were maybe talking to a potential client and they asked you, like, you're on a discovery call or something, and they're like, oh, are you familiar with XYZ? Or are you, did you have that? And how did you respond?
I have had that. And, honestly, I'm just honest. I'm like, you know what? I don't know how to do that, but I'm sure I could learn it. So there have been times when somebody's like, I've had someone ask if I know how to get a book on Amazon. I've never done that before, but I'm sure I could figure it out.
Exactly. I think that's the best thing. I think people are really like scared of that question. Like, oh, what if somebody asks me to do something that I don't know how to do? Well, like, go ahead and get ready, because that is most likely going to happen, so just having that response ready of like, I'm a fast learner, I've never done that before. Honesty, always be honest, and I think that's an awesome response. Okay. So, so what about when you do decide, I want to learn a new skill? And I'd love to hear in the comments from you guys. Let me know below, like, what is kind of that, what's your next level up, right? Like, I think we go through like these journeys in our business where it's like, okay, here's, I'm starting with the skills that I have, and then next I want to learn this, and then this, and then this, and there's things you want to learn, and maybe there's skills, or maybe there are even things that you want for your own business, right? Like, I want to learn how to set up a funnel for my own business, or maybe if it's not a service you're offering, or I want to learn how to do my bookkeeping better, or I want to learn Pinterest management so I can use that for my my clients. So I want to know in the comments from you guys, what is like your next level up, right? Like what's the next thing that you're like, I don't know how to do this, but I want to learn how to do this, because I think that could be really interesting. And for you, Tiffany, like when you've had those kind of level up moments, what have you done to kind of conquer that fear of learning a new skill, because it can be scary, right?
Yeah, no, it's definitely scary to learn a new skill. One of my favorite quotes, and it kind of propels me forward usually, is a Walt Disney quote, and it's all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. And so, what I usually try to do is think about what the end goal is. What is it that I want to accomplish? And then, what smaller steps can I take to get to the bigger goal? So by thinking ahead about what the dream is, all you have to do is take that first step. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. So as long as you take the first step, align yourself with people who are doing the things that you want to do, you can achieve all of your dreams.
Yeah.
So for me, it's usually just thinking about that I can do this, but I just have to take that first step.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. I'm gonna have like a super vulnerable moment right now. So because that really resonated me with what you just said. So yesterday, so I've been going to a weightlifting coach. She's like a ex-professional bodybuilder, and I've been learning how to weightlift, and I love it. Like I'm obsessed with it, right? And I've been really proud of my progress, and like I know I'm getting stronger, my endurance is getting better, and like it's been really, really cool. Well, yesterday I go to the gym and she is so excited. She's like, I've got this new machine. You're going to have to try it out. And she jumps on it and she does this like movement. And I'm like, I can't do that. Like, I'm like looking at her and I'm like, I just have in my head, I'm like, my body physically will not do that. Like I'm looking at her, I'm like, there's like no way I'm going to be able to do that. And it's, she's like, all right, hop on up. And I get up there. And I literally, you guys, I get on this machine and I start to try to do the thing and I burst out in tears. Okay. I'm literally in the middle of the gym crying, so embarrassed, because I had this moment where I was like, I cannot do this. And like, it wasn't like oh, yes, you can believe in yourself. It was like no, like I physically can't do this. And I knew that I couldn't, even when I tried, it was like, it wasn't working. However, okay, I had this, like, I recomposed and I talked to my husband for a long time after. And I was like, it's funny because I've been weightlifting literally for like 3 months. Okay. Like I am newbie status all the way. And even though I had like these little confidence boosts and things like that, I'm like, if I look back at my entrepreneurial journey, like something I consider myself expert level entrepreneur now, right? Like we've built this team, we have 20 something employees. Like I would consider myself an expert level entrepreneur, and expertise status has come because I've been doing this since 2015, right? And I'm like, I've been weightlifting for 3 months and I'm like, okay, so like, what are the things, like I am going to do that dumb machine and it might take me a year, 2 years, I don't know, but like exactly what you said, like if I literally have to have the physical courage, because I was literally like scared on this machine. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna hurt myself, and I'm like, I have to have the actual courage, but like, what are the baby steps I need to actually get there? Okay, like I'm going to try to wear better shoes today. I need to keep getting on it, even if I'm scared. I'm going to see if she can adjust this one thing. I'm going to keep strengthening like my core so I have more confidence that I'm going to be able to do it. Like there's like all these little steps that I'm like, okay, like if I keep doing these things consistently, like it's going to pay off. And I think that it's that same kind of mentality, whether it's a physical skill or a mental skill, that we face. And sometimes we just get like paralyzed, right? Of like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not going to be able to do this. And it's like, well, no, like you're brand new. Of course you can't do this right away. And that's okay. Right.
Right.
So yeah, just thanks for sharing that. That was a really, really good quote. I'm like, I need to like plaster that up.
Yeah, and it's hard to stop from the spirit of comparison. You see, everybody can do things, and you're like, why can't I do that? Well, you can, but your journey looks a little different. Just do things at your time. When you're starting out, you may not be an expert, but you can get there.
Yeah. Well, I think that was another thing. So there was another girl in the gym and we started like at the exact same time and she had just gotten off it and could do the thing. And so I was like, we started at the same time. How come everybody has their own skills, like somebody's going to jump into like, Canva and they're going to be like, oh, look, I just threw together this brand board. And you're like, how does this look like a professional thing? And mine looks like my 5-year-old did it. Right. Like some of us start at different levels, I think. And yeah. So
Yeah.
do you think that there is ever a point where you're like, like maybe this isn't something I should pursue? Like, is there a point where it is too late to learn something new?
Not at all. Colonel Sanders got started in his like 60s, okay? And we're still big fans of KFC. So, I mean, I don't think there's ever a point where it's too late to learn something new.
I was like, I want to like look that up. I'm like, I know there's like a bunch of people that started
Yeah.
yeah, I think I think he was like 50 or 60.
Yeah.
And hold on, there was another like really good one. Oh well, I was trying to look it up. I should have prepared it. Never mind. But there's like all these stories of people that Henry Ford Motors, right, started his business at the age of 40. There's one, and I can't think of what it was, but this guy who started his business in I think it was like his 70s or 80s. It's like, nah, just do it.
Right. Yeah, it's never too late to learn something new.
Yeah, for sure.
So just go for it.
Okay, so this is a really good question because I think there's probably people who are trying to figure out, like, is it actually the right time? Like, should I be focusing on getting more clients with the skills that I have already? Or should I be learning new skills? Should I wait to market my business until I have new skills? Kind of what's your take on that?
I think you should get started with what you have, and you can always build as you go along. So at the time that you decide to learn new skills, let it be because it's time for you. You're ready to take on something new, or there's something that you're passionate about learning and you want to incorporate it into your business. So I think it's time to learn something new or offer new services when it's right for you, when you feel like you want to level up or you want to charge more or you want to have a high-end service. When you feel that way, then it's time.
Yeah. I think that the trap we get into is that like I have to learn XYZ before I can do XYZ, like I think that that's just not true. Now, should you learn Pinterest management before you call yourself a Pinterest manager? Yes. Right? Like, yeah, you should not like take on clients before you literally know how to like make an account for somebody. But at the same time, like I think that being able to start with what you have, right? We talk about like one of the best skills you can have as a virtual assistant is that ability, that figure it outedness, right? Which I feel like you have so much, Tiffany. Is that something Tiffany actually just got? She just transitioned in the company into a new role. And are you in that zone right now where you're just learning like all the new things?
Every day I learn something new. And you know what? If I don't know something, I know how to Google. You can Google just about anything. You can YouTube just about anything. We use ClickUp so much. And when I don't know how to do it, I definitely Google, how do I do this in ClickUp? And I find the steps and I do it.
Guys, I think that like we're going to teach you the secret. Only people on this live stream are going to hear it. And it's the secret to all of life and all of success. Learn to Google. That's it. I mean, it's so true though. And I think that there are certain things like I'm also a big fan of online courses. Like if there's a specific, if it's like oh, how do I move this thing and click up, or can I do this one particular thing? I think there's like, am I learning like one specific like tactic, or am I learning, or am I developing like a whole blueprint or a methodology? And I think when it comes to like blueprints and methodologies, I prefer to learn from online courses. I'm obsessed with online courses. My team can attest. I have bought many of them, but that's why we created Savvy Vault, because I think that there's a step-by-step method where it's like, okay, instead of trying to compile like 50 blog posts, let me go through this step-by-step method. So I think that there is a combination of both. It's like, if I need this like quick fix, like, can I, let me figure out how to do this Google like a Gmail signature. Okay, I can Google that quickly. And that's really, really important. But when it comes to like, let me bring in, a whole new traffic source to a business, like Pinterest, like do a course, right?
Do a course
I think
for
so.
that.
Yeah. Do you like online courses? Have you been like a big online course person?
I love online courses, especially because you can go back and you can do it at your own pace, but you can also replay lessons if you need to go back over that again. And typically, those online courses come with a community, like the Savvy Vault. They come with a community of people. So, yeah, I definitely love online courses and the community that comes with.
Yeah, we had a really good, I love this. Eileen said, what I'm learning from this is we shouldn't be too hard on ourselves. Give it one day at a time. Being a newbie, this is exactly what I needed. And I'm so glad. We beat ourselves up, and we do that comparison game so much in our businesses, right? Did you have that struggle at all, Tiffany?
Absolutely. I'm like the queen of imposter syndrome. But on the other side, you look at it and you're like, it wasn't that scary. I can do that. So seriously, if you're just starting out, you can be where those people are a year from now. And then in a year, you'll have 1 year of experience.
Yeah.
So just start.
Yes, so good. Oh, look, somebody did the work for us. Stanley started at 39. Gap founder Donald Fisher was 40. Vera Wang started at 40.
Yeah.
There we go. That's what I was looking for.
There we go. Thank
so
you.
Good. Thanks. You did the research we didn't do.
Google. Yes.
Google. I love it. Okay, so we have some good questions here, and I think we can even just jump into a Q&A time, because I think that this is just a good ongoing discussion, and I'd love to hear from you guys. I think Rachel posted, I think I saw she had a question up there, like what is, oh, now I lost it. Where did it go? She said, like, what? Now I totally lost it. There it is. Nope, that's not it. Anyways, she was asking essentially, like, what is like oh, there it is. I was like, now I can't remember. What baby step do you need to take today? Like, as far as what you were talking about earlier. Okay, like I would love to be XYZ. Okay, so what is the ABC step for you? Like, what are the different steps that you need to take to reach that big goal? It was a really good question, so I wanted to find it. So let me know that in the comments. I think that would be good. And we have a couple really good questions here, so I want to pull those up. Jessica asks, how do you market yourself to gain new clients when you don't have examples or a portfolio to show them yet? What do you think, Tiffany?
When you don't have a portfolio or something to show them yet, you can be the best example of your work. So do the things for yourself. So if you say, I know how to manage a community, maybe your goal is to start a Facebook community so you can get that experience managing that community. Or if you say that I do email marketing, maybe you want to start an email list. So you can use your own business and gain that experience doing the things for your business. Social media management. You can start your own socials and grow your audience and say, hey, I have experience growing social media accounts. So definitely, I'd say use your own business to kind of get those examples, or reach out in the community and ask if maybe the barter system. Maybe somebody wants to trade services. You need a brand board and someone else needs a logo, and you're really good at designing logos. So definitely use your community.
I love that. Such a great question. And I think, one of the things that we teach inside of our Savvy System course, which is our signature course for teaching people how to become virtual assistants, is we teach people how to create a portfolio. And a portfolio doesn't always have to include examples of work. Like that can be something that you add later. You can have your cover page, have an intro level, have an intro letter, have a list of your skills, right? Like even if you don't have examples of those, like have a list of the things you can do. Even if your list only has 5 things on it, that's fine, right? Like someone will need those 5 skills that you can offer. Have your pricing, have some testimonials from, even if you've never worked with a client, like get somebody to have like a character testimonial, right? Like a previous employee or a friend that's like, Tiffany's phenomenal. I'd hire her to do anything. Okay. And it's just Jan so-and-so from your previous workplace, right? And then have a way to connect with you. That's like a 5 or 6 page portfolio that doesn't even have examples of your work. And then when it comes to like showing value first, a video can go a long way. Like just shooting somebody a personalized video. And I really think that personality and just showing that you are the kind of person that goes above and beyond. So like doing a video or doing like a little like project for them that they didn't even ask for. Like I went ahead and went through your blog and found like these topics that I think would be great to write new blog posts on or whatever. Doing that kind of value first methodology goes further than somebody that's like, here's the 100 clients I've worked with and I'm so exclusive. Like, I don't know. I would rather have the person that's just shows personality and goes the extra mile than somebody who's has 20 years of experience. You can have 20 years of experience and still like not be the right fit.
And I think that's important what you just said as well about even if someone's looking for blog posts, maybe recommending blog titles, like posts that you might do for them. It shows, hey, this person's really thought about my business and how they can offer value, and I'm willing to let them write the post, whether you have a portfolio of samples or not.
Yep, for sure. Becky, Miss Life Coach over here. She this is really good. Screenshot this. You don't have to be an expert to enter the race. Join, run, build those muscles, and become the expert. You won't ever get there sitting on the sidelines. Oh, so good. Mic drop. So good. Okay, this is a great question. Jasmine asks, how do you feel when you raise your rates? Ooh, this is I like this question because people always ask like, how do I raise my rates or when do I raise my rates? But like, how do you feel when you raise your rates? Like I'd love to hear from you guys, like your people who have maybe done this already in the past. Like, what is that experience like for you? What are kind of the fears you face on the front end and what is that feeling afterwards? Do you have an answer? Have you seen that from our students or something you've experienced yourself, Tiffany?
I think the fear is definitely there when you raise your rates. It's just going to be a nerve-wracking thing anyway, because you're like, people are comfortable at this rate. How do I know they're willing to pay more? Well, you won't know until you do it. So you'll feel great once someone says, fine, I'll accept that new rate. So, I mean, it's definitely scary. I mean, not even going to say that it's not. Raising rates is definitely scary. Setting your rates is scary if you're just starting out. But once you have that client that's like, done, no problem, I'll sign the contract, the invoice, that's a great feeling. Yep. So you know that you're worth that. Command that rate, raise the rates to where you believe you need to be, and someone will pay that, whether it be for convenience or because they believe in you. So it's going to be scary, but do it anyway. You're worth it.
Yeah. I'm a total realist. I'm like plan for the worst, hope for the best kind of person. And so when it comes to raising your rates, I'm a really big, like face the facts. Yeah. Like if you're raising your rates with current clients, like you might lose a client. And like, you have to be ready for that, but I'm hoping that at the point you're raising your rates is when okay, buy me, like that is me. If this person isn't willing to come up to my new rate package, then that is me like releasing that client so that I can go and find somebody who can. And hopefully at that point, you're confident enough in your marketing and in your skills that you're like, it's okay. I can replace them with this next new client,
Yeah.
And so if you're like, if I raise my rates, I won't be able to like feed my family if I lose these clients. Well, then maybe find like some more clients at the new rate and then drop this client, right? Like be wise, like take chances, take risks, but also be wise, I feel like. Yeah, these are really, really good questions. Let's see here. Oh, this is, Rachel says character references are so powerful because they speak past your abilities and cut straight to what it's like to work with you. Agree. People want to work with people. Like, I feel like it's been kind of the trend for the past, 5 or 6 years where companies, I think it's probably like the rise of Instagram, where it was like more like behind the scenes and raw and real and like people just want to deal with people. And the more you can, connect with someone's life, you like trust them more. I don't know. Yeah.
I think too, when people feel comfortable with you, they feel better with trusting you with their work, even if it means giving you that grace to learn something new.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So Hope says, if you work full time and want to start on project-based services, what services would you suggest? What do you think, Tiffany?
I'm thinking things that you can do that don't require availability at a certain time period of day. Whether it be like writing services or maybe social media, because you can schedule those things and you can work on those things outside of standard working hours. So I would lean towards something where you're creating, even if it's like creating graphics for someone or social media and posting for someone or commenting or writing blog posts for someone, something that allows you to be creative.
Agreed. Yeah. Anything that's just not that, I'm going to need to like be available at 2:00 in the afternoon, whatever, like, which is not very many things. I think that customer service would be the, like answering customer service emails would probably be the least preferred one. Although even still, like, it kind of depends on what your client's expectations are for emails. If they're like, we answer all emails in 2 hours, no. But if it's like, we answer all emails in 24 hours, then, fine, so it kind of depends on, I think, what the expectations would be for yourself, for your clients, what you're advertising. But I agree with you that package-based pricing, I think any of those things that you can just do whenever, 2 a.m. I can be building a website or working on a Pinterest strategy or, whatever it may be, posting social media, writing a blog. Great advice. Let's see. Betty asked, as a homeschool mom, is it possible to become a virtual assistant while figuring out what hours would work for me?
I think so, because you can try different services and see what hours work for you to work on that business. Whatever it is you're willing to offer, you want to look at your schedule and see, maybe time blocking might work well for you. Looking at the hours you have to be available for homeschooling, and then looking and seeing what chunks of time you could be doing your business. I think that's possible. Just, set out your calendar first and then maybe figure out what you can slide into the empty time slots that you have.
For sure. If you guys haven't done time blocking, it's one of those things that it can take a lot of time to set up initially, but once you do it, it can be really, really life-changing. Like, I'll show you just a second. It's peek into my life. This is my calendar, right? And like, if I go to like next year, June of 2022, like it's already set up, and I can tweak and I can change it, but I know like these are my working hours. These are Honey's is the gym that I go to. Don't think that that's like something weird. So that's my personal training, right? And like, I've already built in the things that are important to me. Like, I end my day at 4:00 because that's when my kids are home and I am like computers off, time with them, right? And your schedule might not look like this. And mine didn't look like this when I first got started. When I first got started, I had 2 kids. I literally had a newborn baby and a 2-year-old. Okay. So like my schedule was literally like, I woke up really early. I tried to do like a nap. I tried to time out a nap with maybe like my daughter watching like a cartoon to get some work in then. And then I would work when my kids went to bed. And that was literally like, that was it. And then eventually I got like a college student to come to our house 2 days a week. And that way I had like 2 big chunks of time. Right. And my schedule changed over time where like now my kids are both in school. So like I can have more availability. But again, it shifted. I walked before I ran. And so I think that it's about even in your schedule, just taking those baby steps, right? Like I would love to commit an hour, like 5 hours a week. Maybe I have like 3 hours on a weekend and I have 30 minutes, a couple days a week, and that's it, okay, that's 5 hours a week. And then maybe in 3 months, you can bump it up to 8 hours and then bump it up, and I think that taking baby steps in every part of your journey is important, including your schedule. Self-empty, there we go. So yes, to months to way to do it. Okay, Angie asks, do certifications, education, and certain software and systems benefit you as a VA, or is it worth it to invest in them? There's so many systems to use. I'm not sure which ones I should be learning and investing my time into. Ooh, such a good question. What do you think, Tiffany?
Well, it depends on the services that you're wanting to offer. You may not need to know all of the systems. So I would certainly think about what would enhance your current offerings or how you run your business. And then I would look for perhaps a program. Well, I've learned the softwares, and if you believe that the certification will help you either in your services, then maybe pursue those. But I would definitely look into what it is that you need, and then decide if it's worth investing in to help advance your business.
Yeah, most like when you're first starting, I'm all about like the free tools. I'm like,
yeah.
Let's use Wave apps for invoicing. Dubsado lets you have your first 3 clients for free. In the very beginning, free trials. I think this would help me have more time, which would actually make me more money if I had more time. Like those are the things that you can invest in, or it's going to get my clients a better ROI, which means I can charge more. Like it's that kind of cost analysis that you just have to do. But don't buy into the hype that you need a bunch of expensive tools in the beginning, because you really don't. I think education is the thing that I would invest in most. Like if there is a skill you want to learn and you're like, I know, like I want to learn this skill and I want to invest in this little mini course or Savvy Vault or whatever. I think that's my opinion. I would invest in education before I would invest in tools, because there's just so many ways to do your business. HelloSign, if you like signing contracts, you can use HelloSign or DocuSign. Each one of them gives you like so many free per month, so you can like go back and forth between them. That's what I would do when I was first starting out. You learn how to work the systems, right? And then eventually you're like, okay, I need an account with one of these. So yeah, great questions, guys. This has been such a super fun live stream. And Tiffany, I'm so grateful for you. Tiffany has just been such a blessing to our team, you guys. She's amazing. And I really appreciate your vulnerability and your expertise, and just it's just, I think it's encouraging for people to see other people's journeys, right? And when did you say you started your business?
2017.
2017. Yeah. So wow, you're sitting here like 3-4 years later, and I'm sure it's like a totally different ball game, right? Like could you ever imagine that you'd be kind of where you're at now when you first started?
Never. It's one of those things that, again, I guess if you kind of look at the big picture, I never would have put this in the cards, but if you get started, there's no telling where you can go. You can absolutely just change your whole entire life simply by getting started with something. So
yeah, totally. So just start. I think that's like the underlying message, like that figure it outedness. Just say, hey, I'm just going to pursue this. I'm going to take the baby steps. I'm not going to fall into the comparison game. I'm going to be on my own journey, and I am going to pursue what I know is right for me. So, main message of the day. If you guys haven't gotten started yet and you're thinking, man, I really do, I want to start my business. I want to do this thing. Like, I'm all in. Go ahead and download our checklist and starter kit. It's the step-by-step checklist for how to start a virtual assistant business. And it's going to, literally give you, okay, I don't need to be on step 10. I need to be on step 1, right? I need to decide on my services. Okay, check. Now I need to get my EIN number, or what, the different steps, and you can just focus on one thing at a time, and it's super helpful. So make sure you download that checklist. And thanks so much for joining us. We will be live again next Tuesday at noon. So I hope to see you then.
Thank you, Abby.
Yes, thanks for coming on with us, Tiffany. Bye.
Bye.